Contractor Cap here with Overseas Contractor Academy, and today I want to talk about how in some ways being an overseas contractor is kind of like a part summer camp that lasts a year, and there's a little bit of danger, maybe some excitement, really good paychecks, and people. There's going to be people around you, and that's kind of really what I want to focus on is the other people and that you're around and how that affects you as an overseas contractor. So stay tuned, I'll be back in 12 seconds. Okay, so when you're overseas working as a contractor, the schedule is typically 10 to 12 hours a day in the office, or work site, work location, whatever, depends on kind of work you're doing. But you're going to be there 10 to 12 hours a day, as are the other people. And so the people around you, you're going to see them probably more than you've ever seen your own family. And basically, you build relationships with them. You build both working relationships and you just get to know a lot about their lives. And so for the military people that are going to be around you, realize that they're going to be there typically less than a year. That's because, you know, they typically are going to do a one-year deployment, maybe even less, and they've got pre-deployment time and then post-deployment time. So they're going to end up being there maybe 9, 10 months, quite honestly, on the ground. And that can be both a good and a bad thing, because when they suck, quite honestly, all you gotta do is be like, well, I've got, only so many months before this jerk is out of here. But most of the time, they don't suck. Most of the time, they do have a decent attitude towards the contractors. Now, some of them do kind of resent contractors because they know that we're there doing the same work that a military person is doing, but we're making 3 times as much. So there is sometimes that resentment there. But a lot of times there's also, hey, that's cool that you could do that. Tell me how I can become a contractor. So it just depends on the person. By and large, what I've found is like most of them are cool. And when they're cool, and especially when they're like competent, there's some people I have worked with in my time that were both cool people and very, very competent, like driven, good, honest people. Like you wish you have coworkers like this all the time. It kind of sucks when they go because you're like, I wish they were staying here longer. So that's the good and the bad of the military guys is the military guys and girls are only going to be around you for 9 or 10 months typically before they rotate in or out. And then there will be a whole new person. And it's like, it's just hit and miss. Like, you're going to feel out that new person. How's that relationship going to work? What's their perspective on contractors? And you just kind of have to keep dealing with that rotation. So sometimes it's good, like believe me, when they're a negative person and you just kind of feel like, well, how did you even last this long? You can't wait for them to go, like please. But then when you get the good ones, which are kind of like the majority, quite honestly, you're like, oh man, like I've been seeing this guy 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, or like this girl has been like the most positive, cool influence on the office, and now she's going, and that sucks. So you're happy to see them go back to their lives and their family and all that, but it does kind of suck when they go. Okay, and as far as contractors go, there's going to be 2 types. There's going to be the ones that work for your same company on your same contract, and then there's going to be everyone else. So we'll talk about the first group first, and that is your people that are around you on your contracts. And it is a little bit like the military in that when they suck, man, you just can't wait for them to go. Like you're just praying every day that, like, God, I hope you find a reason to go home soon, or I hope you get sick of being over here because you're making it much worse. And if there's any central message here that I would impart to anyone that's thinking about being an overseas contractor is more than anywhere else in my life I've been, you do not get the option of being an island. You are connected with other people, and the attitude that you bring into that office every day, it affects everyone. And so it is so easy for any of us to kind of like get mired down in our own crap and like, oh, I'm fighting with my significant other, and oh, my kid is sick, or oh, my parents are sick, or whatever frustrations you have, and you drag that in the office, and it just, man, it's like the ripple effect. It just goes out in the pond. It just affects everyone around you. So just don't be that damn contractor. Don't be that guy. Remember that everyone is struggling, and so you want to try and make it better, not worse. So when you have people that are on your team and they suck, believe me, you're just going to be like, can't wait till they find an excuse to go home, or they feel like they have enough money, or whatever the hell it is, like, just go. And then likewise, when they're super cool and it's time for them to go, it does like kind of suck. Like when they've made their money and they're like, hey, I'm going to go off and start my business, or I'm going to go get a degree, or whatever they decide they're going to do. It's tough when they go, because again, you've just spent 12 hours a day for a year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years around that person all the time. And now they're just going to go. And so you've got to kind of be okay with letting go and be good at making new friends with new people and building new relationships. You're going to work with people, as well as letting go of the people that you really liked, because it's super easy to let go of someone that's butthole. Like you're just like, give them the kick to the door and like, see you later. And when they're good, though, it's not so easy. And so that's something to be prepared for. And it's an aspect of working over there that a lot of people don't talk about, is you've got to learn to let go of the good, because that's the hard part. The easy part is when someone sucks and you're like, see ya. When they're good, you will miss them. And you lose something out of the office when good people leave. And that's just the way it is. Okay, and then lastly, you're probably going to have one or maybe two people that you really get along with very well, like you actually really click with them. Whether they work for other companies, when someone works for another company, they typically have their own crap going on, and you can bond over a shared interest, like maybe you both go to like salsa night, or you both play poker, which I've had a lot of friends that I met through, the poker tournaments they have on the bases over there. Whatever it is you're into, you might meet people that work for other contractors, and it's cool. I recommend it. Like, you got to network, and you can, pick up like, you might hear of like a job that pays a lot more than you working for this other better company. So you got to, be smart about this stuff, socialize, network. But there's probably going to come a point where you realize there's one or two people like you really click with and you really talk to, and you kind of like, you'll share the details of your life with them, and they'll share this, what their hopes and aspirations and struggles are with you. And that's where it really does take some discipline, because they too are going to go home. Either, you're going to go and leave them being the one that's there, or they're going to leave you. And so that's something that people just don't talk about this, but it's a factor of being over there, is learning to let go and wish people the best, as well as you yourself learning to move on when someone that you're really connected to, like you're really cool, like you guys, maybe you hang out and play Xbox, or whatever it is you guys are into, you watch the MMA fights together, you talk about it, that kind of stuff. Just anything that they have over there that you bond with someone over, and you actually become friends because they kind of see the world like you, or you just find them really funny or cool, or whatever it is. It sucks when they go, man, and you're the one like behind. So I just want to kind of do a video to talk about that. It was something that I've always kind of wanted to cover. It's an aspect of becoming an overseas contractor where obviously you're always going to have your family and your friends from home and all that stuff. But you're not spending 12 hours a day around them. You're around the people where you're at. And so for the military people, they have to come and go, like less than a year. Now, contractors, like I've said many times, you're typically looking at 1 to 2 years. Some people stay longer, but 1 to 2 years is generally enough to set up your life. And so a lot of people just do that 1 to 2 years, and they want to go do what they're going to do, whether it's school or business, or buy a boat and go fishing, or like, me, travel the world, whatever it is, 1 to 2 years and they're gone. So, but they're going to last a little longer when they're a contractor. But no matter what, if you're there, you're going to come in and experience that where people go. You've just got to be able to adjust to that. You've got to be able to adjust to people leaving your life. And if you're not the type that moved all the time in your life, that you grew up in one place and had a lot of stability, you're probably not used to people coming and going out of your life like that and connecting with people and then letting go and then connecting with new people. But that's a factor over there. So I just kind of wanted to make a video and like just let people know, like, hey, you know, there's all kinds of reasons to put your own little roadblocks, like, oh, you know, it's tough to be overseas and, you know, be away from my family and I don't really know if that's for me, and, or, you know, whatever your excuse is, like, you know, you could pile another one. It's so hard to like let people go. Yes, but believe me, like it says, screw excuses, man. There's always gonna be an excuse not to do the right thing, okay? That's just how life works. In fact, that's almost, I think, part of it. That's like it built into the lesson is it was probably a lot easier to do something else, but you did the right thing, or you did the hard thing and it paid off. That's how life works. And so that's kind of today's lesson, is just addressing this other aspect of learning to let go of people. The upside is of no one lasting over there is that when someone's bad, easy to see them off. And when they're good, it's not easy. And so that's just kind of another part of being overseas. All right, so that's gonna be it for this week. You know, a little bit of a serious topic, but it was worth discussing. Like I said, it was on my mind for quite a while. Becoming an overseas contractor, it can be tough in a lot of ways. I mean, if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? So there's gonna be some downsides and some struggles, but the benefit is 6 figures overseas, tax-free, expense-free. It's just the way to go. So if you want to kind of turbocharge your savings and get a pile of money that'll enable you, you know, people with money have choices. People without money don't. That's just how life works. And so personally, I'd rather have the choices. And so I'm willing to sacrifice, pay the price I gotta pay to be overseas and to make that money. So if that's something you're interested in, you know, check out the website below and see what we have to offer. That's it. So we'll see you next week with another video, another topic, and another smiling me.